The CEO had stayed late that evening, staring at the glowing boardroom screen filled with red numbers, failed projections, and unanswered questions. For weeks, his best executives, graduates of top universities with decades of experience, had argued, debated, and blamed one another, yet the $200 million crisis remained unsolved. The company stood on the edge of collapse, and the pressure was suffocating. As the room fell silent, the door opened quietly. His maid entered, as she did every night, pushing her cleaning cart with her eyes lowered, careful not to disturb anyone. She had worked in the building for years unnoticed, invisible to most. While wiping the whiteboard, she paused. Her gaze lingered on the tangled charts and equations that had defeated the leadership team. Almost without thinking, she picked up a marker. In a calm, steady voice, she pointed out a simple flaw in the assumptions behind the projections. Then, in seconds, she restructured the model, crossing out unnecessary steps, adjusting one key variable, and connecting patterns no one else had seen. What looked impossibly complex suddenly became clear. The CEO watched in stunned silence. The room felt different, as if time itself had slowed. The solution wasn't just fast, it was elegant, logical, and devastatingly accurate. She finished, gently placed the marker down, and apologized for speaking out of turn. But the damage was already done. In that brief moment, the CEO realized something extraordinary. The answer they had been searching for wasn't hidden in expensive consultants or endless meetings. It had been standing quietly beside them all along, waiting to be seen. The room remained frozen after she finished speaking. A few executives exchanged uncomfortable glances, some clearly offended, others confused. For a brief second, the CEO felt the weight of expectation. This was the moment most leaders would laugh it off, apologize to the staff, and move on. But something in the maid's calm confidence made him hesitate. Instead of dismissing her, he asked a simple question, then another. He pulled up real-time data, running stress tests against her model. Numbers shifted. Red alerts faded. The projected losses began shrinking before everyone's eyes. What had looked like an impossible crisis moments earlier was now unraveling with stunning clarity. The CEO's pulse quickened. He called in the finance head and the strategy team, instructing them to verify every assumption she had made. One by one, her logic held firm. In fact, her approach didn't just fix the problem, it revealed a faster, more scalable system that could protect the company from similar crises in the future. Silence filled the room again, but this time it was different. It wasn't disbelief, it was awe. The executives realized they had been trapped by overthinking, blind to simplicity. She, however, saw the problem without ego, without fear, and without the limits imposed by titles. In that moment, the CEO understood something profound. True brilliance doesn't always come wrapped in confidence or credentials. Sometimes it stands quietly in the background, ignored by hierarchy. By choosing to test her idea instead of rejecting her voice, he didn't just save the company, he shattered his own assumptions about leadership, talent, and where greatness can truly be found. The next morning, an emergency company-wide meeting was called. Rumors spread quickly through the halls, layoffs, mergers, or another crisis announcement. No one expected what came next. The CEO stood at the front of the room, calm but resolute, and asked the maid to step forward. A wave of confusion rippled across the audience as she walked in, still wearing the uniform everyone recognized. Then the CEO spoke. He revealed how the $200 million crisis had been solved, not by consultants or senior executives, but by her. In sight, gasps filled the room. Some faces showed disbelief, others embarrassment. Without hesitation, he announced her immediate promotion, granting her authority over the very teams that had failed to find a solution. The shock was instant. Years of rigid hierarchy cracked in a single moment. Titles, degrees, and office sizes suddenly felt meaningless. The CEO didn't stop there. He introduced new company norms. Ideas would be judged on merit, not position. Any voice could speak. Any insight could be tested. Innovation, he declared, would no longer be limited by rank. Executives who once dismissed her now listened carefully as she outlined long-term strategies. With quiet confidence, employees across departments felt something shift: hope, possibility, and a renewed belief that effort and intelligence would finally be seen. That decision didn't just change her life. It transformed the culture of the entire company. By choosing courage over comfort and fairness over tradition, the CEO proved a powerful truth. Real talent doesn't always announce itself. Sometimes, it waits in silence until someone brave enough is willing to listen.